Hello, listening audience, and welcome to a Toonkind at 12 FPS. I have not done one of these in a while. I am your host with the most. I am Rowan Gale. Hello, and I am joined by lovely, wonderful, amazing person who is very kind for indulging me in my nonsense.
You are also indulging me. I'm Lewis, local virus of the Toonkind server. You know who I'm playing. Everybody knows who I'm playing. I'm always playing him. It's Tobias, the bitch himself.
He is not a bitch.
He is! He's a bard!
He's
he
a
can't
gremlin.
be anything else.
He's a gremlin and we love him.
And do you want to say who you're playing, or do you want to keep the surprise until a few minutes in?
I'd say we're going to keep it a surprise until a few
Cool.
minutes in, although anybody looking at the title card,
might have some clues.
There are certainly some hints. Hint, motherfucker.
Fine. It's cool.
Okay, I actually need to set this lighter down before I set something on fire. Anyway.
You want to talk about that perhaps? Maybe after the game.
Anyway. Oh, goodness gracious. It has been so long since I've done one of these, I have actually forgotten how to do them. Fuck.
You just say stuff and say what the fuck happens, and it works.
It just works. You say the words and the pictures appear in the people's heads and everybody is amazed at your magical narrative prowess.
Exactly.
So. I guess the best way to do it is just to jump right into it, because I'm shit at intros.
You don't need to do something big and incredible. You just, people are still interested even if you go the simple way.
Yeah, so let's do simple. So actually, I'm gonna turn scene setting over to you because it is several years in the past, and we are zooming in on a certain lovely individual.
On a child.
A baby, Your Honor. What is this baby up to? What is this baby doing? What is this baby feeling? What's going on?
Well, this is a funky little UPA child who is currently walking down the street towards a pretty big building. His colors right now are a marine blue. Quite dark. Don't worry about that. All you need to know is they're going inside of that building, and they look a little bit skittish, like they even try to avoid the librarian at the counter.
I mean, that is fair. Librarians can be intimidating.
Yeah, like this kid does not want to talk to anybody right now.
Oh, bless their little heart.
And they're going to not run, because this is not allowed in a library. This is bad.
No running sound in the library.
Yeah, so they're gonna trot over to multiple parts. I'm gonna see how well they do at finding what they want.
Ooh,
which is investigation. And I'm gonna use present time stats because I'm sexy like that.
This child has always been just as good at fucking investigation.
Don't worry about it. That is a 13, so it takes them a little bit of time. I mean, this is a big library, and they've never gotten that book before. But once they do find it, they go to the quietest corner and the farthest away corner.
Furthest from the door.
Uh-huh. And they're going to look a little inside the book to try and find information on a certain deity.
Why don't you roll me something like, I don't know, roll me religion to see how much this book has.
Cool. That's great.
That's a 7, which is appropriate because this is one of those he who funky enigma deities.
Mm-hmm.
So this little one is looking through this book, and there are a couple familiar faces from where they call home. Obviously, you know, it's kind of a big book of all of the deities that are associated with this group. So you've got pages on Crunkle. There are plenty of pages on Crunkle because he is one of the most social of the gods. Then of course you have
also as the deity of love, you know, it's pretty popular.
Yep. He's popular, he's social, he's really easy to get information on, honestly.
Don't worry about it, it's cool.
Then of course there are a couple pages on Lady Prismatone, who, you know, feeds into that by being Crunkle's wife. But there's also in Prismatone's section mention of her having siblings, specifically having a sister. And this is the person you were looking for. And out of everyone in the book, she has the thinnest section, only 2 pages.
Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? The kid's colors start shifting a little bit to a very light red because is quite frustrated of having this little information on this person that he really wants to learn about.
Learn about for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Anyway.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it.
Yeah, so you're looking at these pages. There are 2 whole pages on Prismatone's younger sister, Lady Retrospect. And those 2 pages don't tell you a whole lot. There's not even really a solid visual description. And the illustration is wonky at best. But there's mention of certain things you probably already knew, given that you knew to look for her, like the fact that she's the goddess of memory and amnesia, and the fact she's the goddess of second chances. There is something that you haven't seen before in this book, though, because this book does happen to have a couple details on how to maybe summon deities.
Which is quite fucked up.
Yeah, what is this doing in a library?
It's fine. Like, this could fall into the hands of a child, but they didn't worry about that. Why would you worry about that?
Because this is Toontown and life is a fucking nightmare? Actually, I don't know if we are in Toontown. This is Einquell and life is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. We're actually not in Toontown, because that's not where this kid lived when he was young.
Righto.
Do I have a name for the city he lived in? No.
But at the same time, it's not Toontown, and that's all we really need to know.
Yeah.
Because that is exactly how places work. There is Toontown, and then there's 110 not Toontowns.
And then there's the rest.
Listen, that's just how things be working in Einquell. You've got Toontown, you've got not Toontown, you got everything else.
Exactly. But yes. Now that he has found what he was looking for, which is surprisingly, of course, to summon Lady Retrospect, is going to grab the book, go back to borrow it,
Mm-hmm.
and then go find a nice little, empty place where there's nobody. Because we don't need people right now.
We don't need anyone talking us out of what could possibly be a bad decision. Anyway. You. Yeah, you check the book out, no problem. I think the librarian probably gives you a little bit of a once-over, like, oh god, what is this small child going to be doing that requires knowledge on how to summon God?
I mean, it's fine, because once again, it's only a book about deities, and considering who this kid's main deity that they follow is Crunkle, they probably have a little symbol of him on their outfit.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably just point at it.
Yes, religion homework. You get a nod.
A little lie has never hurt anybody.
That is not true at all. Anyway.
It's fine.
So,
yes.
You take the book.
Yeah, they take the book. Go find a nice little place, probably in a park, like one of the less used corners of the public park.
Mm-hmm.
And they make sure that they have everything they need, because they probably had a little bag with them, or at least their ammo space, in which they took the usual necessary stuff that you have to summon a deity.
Because this is definitely stuff that any normal child has on hand.
Exactly. Well, any normal child wants to summon God.
God. Alright.
Like candles, maybe one watch.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And probably some chalk.
Exactly.
Your usual.
The usual. It's fine.
So, because I don't actually know the ins and outs of my own summoning ritual bullshit...
It's fine, we're not here for that.
Because I don't write my lore consistently.
Who does?
We're just gonna say, you do the thing.
and you do it right, and you don't fuck it up. It works. It just works.
Yep. You set up this ritual. You set up this summoning ritual, this summoning circle. It's fun. You set up this summoning circle, and you light the candles. The notes in the book specifically recommended butterscotch-scented candles. You don't know what that's about, but anyway.
It's fine. He's not going to question it. Even deities have preferences.
Exactly. I'm sorry, now my brain is making me laugh based on an unrelated thing. It's not blueberry pancakes. Anyway.
No. It's fine.
No demon blueberries. Anyway.
The summoning, he does it because he needs to have a talk with Lady Retrospect right now.
Yep. And for a moment it doesn't seem like it works. For a moment, everything is just kind of still and quiet. And then you blink and you realize that it's unnaturally still and quiet. And you look next to you, and the sort of bushes that are hiding this sort of quiet corner of the park. There was a light breeze today, but the bush is stock still. It is seemingly frozen in time. You look up, and there is a bird frozen mid-flight in the sky.
Yeah, I feel like he will try to touch something like a bit of grass and stuff and see how it reacts.
You touch grass.
How does it react?
Um, it's weird. You touch the grass is like solidly in place. It's like the grass has been carved out of wood. It is stuck. It does not bend.
Cool. Uh,
And
so, yeah. Cool.
how are you reacting to this strangeness?
Currently having thoughts of, was it really a good idea? Something which this child should have asked themselves, an hour or two ago.
Yeah, maybe before you did the thing.
Yeah, like colors are currently lavender, a little bit of purple,
Mm-hmm.
still quite marine blue.
Child.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're looking around at this frozen landscape around you, you hear a faint ticking of clockwork and the sound of distant rain. And then, from behind you, well, you're definitely a little younger than my usual callers.
Hello?
Do you turn around?
Yeah, he does. He's looking straight at this person.
Yep. And standing, where what is once behind you is a short, although probably still taller than you,
Mm-hmm.
Toonkind woman. She looks maybe like she's worn-ish, with curly blonde hair and a steampunky styled outfit and a wide smile on her face. And when you like yelp and jump back a bit, she laughs and she leans on the sort of clock hand sword that she's sort of using as a cane, and she kind of just laughs and says, "Easy, don't have a heart attack."
He's pretty quiet. Just looking at her and like fidgeting with his ends. Will looks at her.
Well, you gonna introduce yourself?
Ah, hi.
Hello.
I'm Tobias. Are you Lady Retrospect?
Pleased to meet you, Tobias, and yes, I am. But the lady thing is more of a formality. Please, just call me Retro.
Okay.
And
I
what's a
want
little
to.
unlike you doing calling someone like me?
I wanted to make a deal. Maybe.
Roll insight.
Hold on. Fun fact, I still do not know Tobias's stats correctly.
Entirely valid. Also, I am also going to roll insight, not on myself, but at you.
Uh-huh.
God, Retrospect's insight, despite being level 40, is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, it's not bad, but...
Mm-hmm. At least it's better.
Alright, so with year 11, there's kind of a flicker across her face of, something that kind of looks like she's been thrown off a little bit, but she recovers it quickly and you don't quite know what it means. What do I learn with a 16 about why is this child asking to make a deal with somebody who erases people?
Well, with a 16, well, obviously Retrospect does not know Tobias's color chart, but, like, it's easy to see from his demeanor that, they're quite fidgety and very anxious.
Mm-hmm.
And, Like this isn't a joke.
Hmm. And that kind of like she was very, smiley, friendly, open, and now she kind of seriouses up a bit. And she looks at him and she says, and what you want to go and do that for? You're a little young yet, don't you think?
Uh, well, I wanted to, I wanted to, like you're the goddess of memories, and so, I was thinking maybe if I give you my memories, I wouldn't be weird at school, and the kids would like me better.
Oh, sweet pea. And she's going to like she kind of twigs. Oh, okay, that's what this is about.
Yeah.
And she sighs and tries to think for a moment and says, I usually don't deal with kids,
Ah, okay. Uh,
but why don't you tell me a bit about yourself, huh? What's making you so weird that people are picking on you, huh? You seem like a sunshine of a kid. Why is anyone being
uh,
mean to you, huh?
uh, well, first, like, you can't really help with that, but, uh, and he points at his whole self that is very colorful, and you can actually kind of see the colors change a little. Like, for example, when you said that you don't deal with kids, you saw that the colors there were still like marine blue, but the purple and the lavender faded away to be replaced with a more sky blue.
Hmm.
So you can't really help with that, but like they like to make fun of me because of uh the colors, but um like that's not really a problem. It's more that I'm not like I'm from Evershore, and they don't like they say that I'm weird because they say I act different and that I shouldn't act like that. And so I'm thinking that if I don't remember that I'm from Evershore, I won't act weird.
Hmm. That's a big thing to give up. It's your whole home.
Well, I mean, it's not really my home anymore because we left and now we live here. And apparently, we're not going back, so.
Hmm. And she kind of like hops up and
So I wanted
sits
to.
crisscross applesauce on top of a bush,
Mm
thinking.
hmm. Mm hmm. It's still like looking away, like, is too nervous to make eye contact and is still fidgeting with his hands.
Bless. Bless this little muffin. All right.
This is a Wallace child, Your Honor.
This is a baby. Hmm. Tell you what. I
Mm.
can't really. Well, like I said, I can't really deal in kids. That's not my area. But if it's just a matter of removing specific memories, I can do that.
Can you?
I can. but I can't do much else. I can't put something else in their place. So you're gonna have a big empty space of missing time. And that can screw with people.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you know
I
what you're
mean,
getting into?
I think I'm okay with that. Um, you can do an insight again if you want.
Sure. 17.
That's cool. That's great. Like it looks like he's hesitating a whole lot because it's kind of figuring out that taking away the memories, like all the memories that he wants gone, will mean also forgetting about his family, and he's not sure he's going to get back home if he doesn't remember who and where he lives. But also you can, like, with a 17 you can see that he really wants to make that deal. Like, he looks so fucking stressed.
Oh, bless this small child.
Mm-hmm.
Bless this tiny bean. Okay, And remind me, canonically, Tobias does have amnesia, did have amnesia about living in Evershore for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, but like the event that the amnesia happened after was really big, and so the amnesia happened very shortly after that event that you know.
Mm-hmm. And
In fact,
she's...
he was in the hospital.
Oh, God, bless. And she kind of... Um, So this actually might catch Tobias's eye because for a second she isn't looking at him. For a second she like flicks her fingers through the air and there are suddenly golden strings wrapped around her fingertips. And she
Mm-hmm.
kind of fiddles with them as though she's playing cat's cradle and she's looking into them and with every way she twists them she kind of mutters something about probabilities and about um, circumstances and likelihoods and whatnot and what have you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Cool, cool, cool.
and after a moment, she kind of says, "All right, you're a little too young for me to be making this kind of a deal with you, okay? So I'm gonna make you a different kind of deal. I can't take away
Okay.
your memories, okay? I know that's hard, but sometimes there's stuff we gotta live with. What I can do is this." And she sort of rolls up the thread between her hands and then presses her hands flat against each other
Mm-hmm.
and then says, "All right, hold out your hand."
Okay. And he does as asked.
And she opens her own hands and drops a golden pocket watch into Tobias's hand. Um,
Ooh.
and she taps it with one finger and says, "Tell you what, how old are you, kid?"
Uh, I'm 8.
"Okay, all right. Give it at least 10 years, possibly more. And then, if you still feel like you need me, or you come upon a situation where you can't see any way out, where everything seems dark and scary and inescapable, wind this 4 times backwards. You got that?"
You, like, it's your turn to see him mutter and repeat to himself 4 times backwards. And he repeats like a few times before, like, he nods very sadly as he looks at the golden watch.
And she kind
Okay.
of she smiles sadly and just gently reaches down and ruffles his hair.
Aw, that's cute.
gonna be okay, kid. And if not, I'll help you pick up the pieces, okay? You have my word as a goddess.
Okay. Uh, thank you, little Rachel.
All right. Be safe, okay? And get home safe. Maybe yeah. Get home safe.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I'll take good care of it.
I know you will. And she winks and disappears, and time starts moving again. And you are now suddenly standing in the middle of a park, or in the corner of a park, holding a pocket watch.
Cool. And I'm imagining, like, just a few minutes later, as he has finally taken the stuff back in his hammer space, that's when his big sister Tina fucking crashes through the bushes yelling his name.
God bless.
To take him out because he has been gone all afternoon.
Bless your heart. Oh, goodness.
Uh-huh. But it's fine. It's cool.
It's fine, probably.
It's fine. Yeah, and this is it for this part of the FPS, because this FPS has multiple parts!
Which is why it's called Triptych Talk. Anyway, let's flash forward a bit. Let's go a couple years into the future. Where do we find our lad?
Currently, our lad that we now recognize as Tobias O'Crowell, but this is the Tobias O'Crowell from No Shoes, No Shirt, No Service Time. Maybe even a little bit before that. Like, I would say maybe like a few weeks before. And he's currently in an hotel room with lying on his back on the bed with his face in his hands, is once again a very dark marine blue with multiple little splotches of red.
And why is that?
Why is that, you have just asked? Well, it's because people who know about Tobias may remember a fun little fact that I don't even remember actually if I've said it in game. So that may be a first time. But, and if it is, well, fun fact about Tobias, he, before getting to Dota Studios, this funky little tune has tried to audition at multiple theaters and movie studios and any kind of establishment that has to do with acting at this point. And he has been slowly but surely losing hope because he has been rejected from every single one of them.
Yay!
And perhaps even the last time that this has happened, which was just today, well, today at the time of this part of the FPS at least, he has been rejected once more. It was going well, and then one certain actress went to talk to him and downplayed him, and at that we'll talk about how his colors are very bad for acting and stuff like that, which he already knew. But yeah, that talk sh- definitely did not help.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so stressed during the audition that not only was he rejected for the colors, but also because, well, the director found him way too nervous for the job.
Which sucks.
Which really sucks. Because he had been doing so well until now, and then that talk happened, and then the actual auditions happened, and he was rejected once again. And
Oof.
at this point, like, it's been so many rejections. Like, it's been more than, like, probably more than 30 rejections.
Oh, hon. Bless your heart.
Yeah, so after some time, you start telling yourself, well, maybe I'm just not good for this. Maybe I should try something else, or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. There's only so much rejection one
Mm-hmm.
person can take.
Exactly. Yeah. So currently he's lying down on the bed, uh, being very, 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 very tired.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. And like, to start this part of the to start this one part, I wanna say that, like, he does one movement on the bed to maybe, like, try and get up when suddenly there's something that tumbles out of his armor space.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Conveniently ejected at just the right moment.
obviously that's how the story works. That's how stories works at all times. And that item is a pretty little golden pocket watch, who still seems good as new because he has kept his promise of taking good care of it.
Hmm.
And he takes a good look at it, and then he tells himself, it won't be my first bad decision, and it's certainly not going to be the last, but it will be today's bad decision.
Oh goodness, that is a wonderful way of putting it.
and and so he rewinds it back one time,
And there is that feeling again of everything freezing up.
and he rewinds it back a second time,
A faint sound of ticking fills the air as the color begins to drain from the room.
and he winds it back a third time,
The ticking grows louder,
and finally winds it back a fourth time.
and there is sort of a clap of thunder from outside as it begins to rain. And he is no longer alone in the room, and a familiar, even if he's only heard it once, voice says, "And here I was hoping you wouldn't have to use that."
And Tobias is quiet again. They can find each other familiar now.
Yep. And Lady Retrospect is kind of sitting on the bed next to him where he's kind of just flopped over.
Yep.
And she kind of pulls her feet up so she's sitting crisscross applesauce because of course she does.
Of course. It's
Um,
the gay sit.
She's queer. You really think she can sit properly?
I think Tobias's first words to retrospect during this meeting will be him like unching a little over like more than he was already was, and just like quietly asking her if is the offer still open?
It depends on what you're asking, kid. I get the feeling you're not asking for the same thing you were back then. And there's sort of a gentle hand on his back, just like gentle pats.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me, sunshine. What's going on?
I feel like I need a new direction in life. And I'm not sure if I have the strength to do it.
What's been going on, huh?
A lot. A lot.
A lot?
Mm-hmm. Like, I've been trying to be an actor for a while now. And apparently, apparently I'm not good at that.
Well, that's nonsense. I've seen you act. You're good at it. What's been the problem?
Well, you might be the only one to think so.
Has anyone actually given you a chance?
Yeah, multiple people. I've been at so many auditions.
Okay, but how many have you actually gotten to do a performance at?
Multiple.
And still no one?
And still no one.
That's some bullshit.
He does snort at that.
And she kind of grins and nudges him a bit and says, "Come on, that one was funny."
It was a little bit funny. But yeah. I guess my personality is a little bit too colorful for them.
And she actually kind of snorts at that herself. And says, "Well, no accounting for bad taste, I guess."
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't just come to me if it was just the rejections. Come on. The person I've been watching these years has been the most persistent motherfucker I have ever seen in my life. And I've lived thousands of years.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
I'm just tired, you know. Today's been bad already, but like all the accumulated stress and opinions and looks that people give me, like, that doesn't help, you know.
Yeah, I kind of get that. Bad press is never good for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you want to do about it?
Don't know. That's the thing. I'm starting to think I need to try something else. But like that's been my dream for so long, and now I'm just giving it up, and I'm not sure if I can do it without help.
And she kind of does that thing again where she like flicks her fingers and she's suddenly playing cat's cradle with a bit of golden thread flicking through it,
Mm-hmm.
but now instead of thread, it's um, thin strips of black film that she's looking over carefully,
Mm-hmm.
contemplatively, and she says, "Well, let's see. Yeah, no, most of these you do wind up an actor. It's never easy, of course, but I wonder." And she kind of
Mm-hmm.
cocks her head to the side, and the the strips of film vanish, and she looks at him again and says, "I mean, I can make you a sort of deal that I've made a couple people before, but it's not one to take lightly."
Well, I can at least hear it.
"You can at least hear it." And she kind of
He does look very interested when she talked about a deal.
and she kind of stretches her arms over her head, very much the "oh boy, getting ready to talk about something big" stretch.
I'm too lazy for that, but I have to.
She just kind of stretches and then folds her hands in her lap, and she like looks at Tobias kind of out of the corner of her eye.
Mm-hmm. And
um
he's looking at her. He's giving her all his attention.
and she says, "Now, there's a reason they call me the goddess of second chances. I have a rather famous form of deal that I make with my warlocks in particular. Essentially, they give me all of their memories of their life. Everything. All the people they knew, all the places they've been, all the experiences they've had. They give those all to me. After 3 years, well, I say three. Three is the average. It's usually 1 to 5 years of service for me on my home plane of memory lane. Um, in return for that time and for their memories, um, well, I set them up." And she kind of flicks her wrist, and in between the two of you, there's kind of a burning illusion in the air, almost like what it looks like when a light bulb burns through film,
Mm-hmm.
um, showing an illusion of basically a tiny silhouette of Retrospect shaking hands with a bunch of different people, um, and then waving goodbye to them as they each individually get on a train and go off, and then the little silhouettes of the people turn bright and colorful, and it seems like they're all essentially living dream lives. Like, some of them look like they're heroes, some of them look like they've settled down and had happy families, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "I make deals with those people, and I do my best to set them up for, well, essentially a happy ending. I call it sending them into a golden timeline, where everything is perfectly orchestrated so that everything will go right for them. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not a deal you make lightly, 'cause it does come at that big cost. It's kind of a question of how much are you willing to give?"
Uh, but insight. It's an FPS after all.
Of
Cool.
course. FPSs are games of insight rolls.
So like during all the talk, like when you said the price, it looked a little bit out of it because it was still like just a little bit of dissociation is fine. Um but during all the explanation of how the deal works, he was pretty damn invested because like there's the whole like finally becoming what you've always wanted to be,
Mm-hmm.
which like obviously it sounds like a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the end, when you reminded him that there is a price to pay, and he thought about it, like you can see that he is back to hesitating.
Mm-hmm. Kind of that same conflicted look he had as a kid, except now his face is older.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the same face. And he's also once again fidgeting with his hands.
Mm-hmm. And she's just kind of sitting there. She's got her own hands neatly folded in her lap, and she's kind of, um,
Mm-hmm.
like, this woman does stim a bit, so she's probably, like, rocking slightly back and forth as she's, thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, not really even thinking, just waiting for a response.
Mm-hmm. So like there's like maybe 1 or 2 more minutes of silence before Tobias speaks again. So like it's every single memory.
Yep.
Like and don't get those back ever, ever again.
Nope. You don't even get to know that they're missing. Um, and she kind
Huh.
of flexes her fingers, and there's sort of a burst of that same, like, illusion effect where it's like something is being burned into existence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you see for a moment all around you just a complex network of different timelines, of different threads, all going to different places. Um, and she kind of explains that um, when I send somebody into a timeline that I've set up so that everything will go right for them, it's also usually a timeline where they never existed. Because, you know, can't exactly have you questioning things and putting cracks in the polish.
Mm-hmm. So like everyone that I knew, I'm gonna forget about them and then forget that I forgot about them, and they'll do the same for me?
Essentially, yeah.
Hmm. I don't really know how to feel about that.
And she kind of laughs and says, yeah, it's the complicated ethical quandary of divinely instituted amnesia.
I mean, it does make sense. Hmm. You don't even need to roll inside again to see that he still is dating on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fact that he still is dating means that he is still very interested in making the deal, but also that he knows the consequences are big,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not sure he could right now live with the idea of forgetting about all the people he loves
Mm-hmm.
and all the good experiences that happened to him, because his life has not been only bad.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's probably kind of like the mental war of, can I force myself to live with this now to never have to live with it again?
Yeah,
And
because he
Retrospect's
won't
not
have.
going to make any comments. She's just going to let him think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like, it's gonna take a good, like, maybe even a whole hour because he needs to think this through. Let's be honest, it's probably not the first time she has been waiting that long.
Nope. She's been waiting for days before. So she
Yeah.
just kind of pulls something out of her pocket that looks like a film reel canister and starts tweaking details on it with a pair of pliers.
So, like, if I do accept the deal and I do get put in that golden timeline, um, like, is it gonna really be a dream life where nothing bad ever happens?
Of course not. And she kind of laughs at that notion and says, Darling, I said it leads to a happy ending. I didn't say that it was smooth sailing.
Mm.
And she kind of flexes her fingers, and that sort of network of timelines glows again, and she says, I can promise people a life where they'll be happy, where good things will happen and the good will outweigh the bad, and it'll be worth it. But I'm not so stupid as to think that I can deny someone plot if it's going to try and come at them from through the wall. Trying to do that
Mm-hmm.
would just piss off the Weave, and honestly, the Weave and I are at each other's throats enough. We don't need more of that nonsense. Um,
That is fair enough.
but sure, bad things might happen, but good things will come after, essentially. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for example, you might maybe get in a fight with a scarecrow, but you'll make some good friends out of the experience.
You see his face crunch in a sort of like, what the fuck are you talking about? Way?
You know, you might meet a giant snake on a train, but you might also get a new dad, so that's fun.
Huh. Hmm. Well, I mean, hmm. He's back to thinking. This time probably like takes half an hour this time.
Mm-hmm. Time doesn't exist right now.
It's fine. When has time ever existed anyways?
Time is fucking fake. Time is fake and it's a flat fucking circle.
And like after the after those 30 minutes, like Retro can see Tobias taking like the golden watch in his hands again and looking at it.
It's a very nicely made watch for something that was just made with a bit of magic in 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of plain looking. The casing is obviously it's pretty smooth and plain, and it's got a neat little chain on it, and it hasn't ticked since the day he got it. It's ticking now, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. He's assuming that it's just daily fuckery because this is a divine artifact after all.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations, you have a gift from a fucking god.
It's fine. It's cool.
Everything's fine.
um, like that's the first thing he says after this 30 minutes. Uh, like I'm not sure I've lived through enough bad stuff to want to get rid of the good memories too.
That's fair.
So, would you be okay if I kept the watch for a little longer?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Thank you. And I'll see how life goes, and if it gets worse, you might see me again.
Oh, I'll see you again regardless. And she kind of reaches over and ruffles his hair. Then
Mm-hmm.
pauses, thinks for a minute. Um, okay, that one's not a fumble. She
Mm-hmm.
reaches into her hammer space and hands Tobias a blank movie ticket and says, "When that gets color in it, go watch what it's for. I think it'll help."
Okay. Can I have a hint as to what movie that's gonna be for?
Nope, that's spoilers.
Can't believe this.
She grins and she kind of just gives this wide Cheshire cat grin and says, "Oh, come on, let a goddess keep a couple secrets."
Yeah. Okay, I'll trust you for this one.
You've got this, kid.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Retro.
And she kind of grins and she stands up and does the dramatic stage magician bow. And then you're alone again, and time is moving. And you have a movie ticket in your hand that is supposed to apparently fill up with information at some point.
Yeah, I sure wonder for what movie this is going to be for.
I sure wonder. It's not like you've actually explicitly mentioned it before.
No, I will never. But anyways, a good while passed, like 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think like at least 2 years passed.
Good old chunk of time, and a lot of stuff happens in that time.
Yeah, baby, so much stuff you couldn't even start to believe. But now Tobias is standing in the clubhouse in this new outfit that he got. Is now at this point in time. This is the present. Tobias is a bard and a sorcerer. He has the clubhouse that he shares with his 2 lovely partners, Primrose and Marcel.
Mm-hmm.
He has his new dad, the engineer, his second dad,
Dad
DJ
too.
Electric Boogaloo. He has siblings, even if they have not been in a game, they share a dad. And he still has Tina and Theo, who he doesn't talk too much to these days, but that he still holds dear in his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And he has is well, it's been a while now, but still pretty new. But he has a whole new fake cousin,
Which is great.
which is great. He also has his bro worker, Larry.
Mm-hmm.
He has the ability to fuse with people that he uses only for shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
And is a pretty well-known star.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like, there have been so many bad times in in those years that happened, and so much trauma that he got, but he's finally getting help for it. He's getting therapy, and he has so many new friends who care for him and that he cares for. And he couldn't honestly ask for a better life, I think.
Yeah.
But guess what? There's the third part to this FPS.
Yep, story's not quite over yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because this time someone shows up uninvited.
Mm-hmm. I think Tobias is in the kitchen when that happens, just like baking something.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe even cooking, like, dinner while
Yeah.
his partners are out.
Yeah. And like you're you're in the kitchen, Tobias, and you're cooking, and then you like notice something. You can't
Mm-hmm.
hear the stove anymore.
How cool.
It has gone
I,
silent.
I
And you
feel
look at the
like
flames and they are stuck in place like they are made of glass.
I feel like at first he can't hear the stove, and he's like, shit, did I run out of gas? But also, this is a magical cupboard, so I shouldn't be running out of gas. And then he looks to see if there are flames, and there are flames, but they're still. And so, well, I feel like his first instinct when he sees the flames is to immediately look towards his altar, which has multiple spaces. There's a big one that is for Kranko, because once again, his main deity.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he has a rectangular space on the side of it, on the left side of it, which is dedicated to Preach Twine, our Lord and Savior, entertainer deity.
All hail Pritch Twine!
on the
Ring
the
the
right
bell!
side on the right side of the Crunkle altar, there's two boxes, like two spaces, and the one at the top is dedicated to Prismatin,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the one underneath, which isn't, it is dedicated, but it also not technically an altar itself,
Mm-hmm.
but it holds a singular pocket watch on a little pedestal made for it. And he looks directly at that.
Except, no, he doesn't, because someone is standing in front of it.
Ah, fuck, for the love of Crinkle!
And she hears that, and she has her back turned to him, but she just busts out laughing.
I want to say that he fucking falls on the floor cartoonishly. Like, jumps so. jumps backwards and just falls face down, like, ass down.
And she just busts out laughing, like she had turned around when she had heard him, but she, like, finishes the turnaround and she has to actually lean on her sword as she is laughing her ass off.
Oh god.
Oh, your face! Oh, Lord!
Hi! Hello, madame!
Hello, good sir.
It is like just getting back up while holding onto the counter. Oh, fuck, gods!
You good?
Yeah, just wasn't expecting that. Oh god, I'm gonna have a sore ass for days. Mm-hmm.
And she's just kind of grinning at him. She offers him a hand up. Once she's done laughing, of course.
He does take it while muttering thank you.
And she's just... She's smiling, but roll insight.
Oh, cool. I love rolling insight. It's my favorite thing to roll, obviously.
I'll give you advantage on this one, though, given the fact that, like, you are one of the few people in the world who could be considered familiar with this woman.
Cool! Oh, that's great. Thank you. Well, that's not much better.
That's a 10. That's not better. That is worse.
It's fine. He got a 13.
We'll say a 13's pretty good. So she's smiling, and there's laughter and mischief in her smile in a way that you kind of haven't seen since the first time she showed up when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also something else there, and you've kind of gotten a little familiar with this because you've been around the engineer a lot, and he looks at you like this a lot. There is pride behind her smile.
Oh no, I'm gonna cry.
There is a lot of pride behind her smile, and she grins at you and says, "Well, don't you clean up nice?"
Why? Yes, I did. Lot of stuff happened.
I saw.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. So about that new dad and that snake and Scarecrow.
I did tell you.
You did.
Come on, some of those were at least a little funny.
A little bit. But man, it's been it's been a while.
Yeah, you never call, you never write. I'm starting to feel neglected. And she kind of does this sort of dramatic hand to the forehead gesture.
Why, excuse me, Miss Lady Retrospect, for I do not have your address.
Giant fucking clock tower, memory lane, top floor.
Can't say I've been there ever.
No, but your boyfriend has been.
Yeah. Like, the second you say that, you see Tobias just like look into an empty space for like a few seconds, like, oh yeah, oh fuck yeah, that did happen, didn't it?
She kind of grins and says,
So what about that?
All I can say is, and she kind of finger guns, it was for the character development.
I'm sure he's getting plenty of character development, alright?
Not for him, for his, like, little brother, I think. Little brother? Twin brother?
Oh, yeah.
Sibling of sorts, who he was refusing to acknowledge as such at the time, because of course.
Yeah, but still, did you really have to, do that?
I mean...
Like, Tobias gives her a little cough. Did you really? Because I don't think you had to. You stabbed this man.
It's my job, God.
It's your... no.
Hey, I never claimed to be a good person, Toby.
Okay. That is fair. You are a deity after all.
And I do my job very well, because I'm good at it. Because it's what I was made for.
Yeah. Yeah. Still, that's... Yeah, I'm probably not gonna tell Marcel about this encounter.
Yeah, he'd probably ask why you didn't kill me.
I think he doesn't understand, but I think he'd be pretty miffed.
Miffed. That's a fun word. Miffed. It has two F's in it. I like words that have double letters.
I got it from him. So, what? Like, that doesn't sound rude because I will never want it to be. But could I ask what you're doing here?
Visiting mostly. Among other things. Getting inspiration, I guess.
What?
And she kind of grins and says, "Hey, Toby, what color do you think your timeline is?"
Don't know.
And she smiles and, like, reaches forward, taps you on the chest, and then pulls her fingers back. And in her hand is one end of a bright, shimmering golden thread.
Oh. Like, I think once again it takes him a little, like, it's like, oh yeah, gold, that's the color of retrospect. I shouldn't be surprised. Before he's doing a little rackle, because like it's not every day you have a conversation with a deity, so it's actually pretty easy to remember conversations, even
Yeah.
if it sounds erotic for a goddess like her. Uh, but like he remembers the terms golden thread and golden timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So like Rachel can just see him like turn gold himself.
And she grins and she lets go and the timeline just zoops back into his chest because yay, that's how that works.
Yeah.
She
Oh.
she does a little twirl while he's processing this information.
Mm-hmm. Damn, I guess I didn't really need help after all.
Nope,
Well, I did need a lot of help, but
but not my kind of help.
well, the conversations did help.
And she kind of blinks at that. Like she actually genuinely looks a little surprised for a second, before she smiles. And she says, "You've done really well for yourself. This is wow. Main character much?"
Gods, I need to give the spotlight to others. They deserve it. But I did have a lot of main character moments, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Dude, I've been watching some of those adventures on loop. Those are some of the
Oh
most
gods.
entertaining stuff I've seen in a while.
Oh man. Oh no, you're gonna make me blush.
Perish.
Ah! Puts his hand on his heart. Does the dramatic leaning backwards. Like,
The dramatic
no.
stumble, like, oh no, I am wounded, I may fall.
Exactly. Play with comedy to not look embarrassed.
And she grins and says, "Honestly, I have never been more glad to not have to be the answer."
Mm-hmm. I mean, I still kind of wonder what it would have been like if I didn't make the deal with you, but...
And she kind of clicks her tongue and thinks for a minute and says, give it a while, you might find out.
Hmm? And now what is that supposed to mean?
Spoilers.
Oh no. Not again.
Oh, come on.
Not even a hint. He's making the puppy eyes. He's making persuasion at the deity.
Roll persuasion.
I'm rolling persuasion.
Roll persuasion at this goddess.
Hey, you wanna know a fun fact that I remembered?
What?
So in Calling All Stars, Mud gave the squad a little thing that is every time they do a check that has to do with acting, they get advantage.
Oh my god, are you like deliberately playing up the puppy eyes?
Yeah. Like at first she's hesitating and this is like, please.
Oh. I think
does not work.
I think it does work just on the grounds of he plays it up so much that it's funny. And she laughs and she like waves her hand. She's like, all right. Okay, your hint. 3 words. Family vacation. Lake.
Family vacation lake. Huh. have to think about it for a while.
And she laughs and says, I don't know. It's a possibility. I don't even know if it's actually going to come to pass here. It might not. That would be fun.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yep.
And that's gonna be a recurring thing with us, isn't it?
Hey, trust me, you'd rather be somebody, when interacting with me, it's better to be someone who waits to see than somebody who gets active interaction.
You know what? Fair enough.
Because, and she kind of like flips her sword in her hand.
Tobias just nods like, yeah.
Stabby, stabby.
Stabby. Well, I wouldn't ask you if you want to stay for dinner, because once again, and he does the little sign of the wishing star.
And she winces and she's like, yeah, I don't think he likes me all that much.
No, I do not think so.
Oh well, can't win them all.
Oh, right. Maybe I should. And is actually going to the altar and opening the case in which the pocket watch is before going back to Retro with it and trying to give it back to her.
And she's going to like move her hands into the air and like, nope, not taking it. That's yours.
Are you sure?
Yeah, listen. I am an expert on Murphy's Law, as it were. Things can go wrong even if things seem good. And I'd rather you had an emergency out. Because, bless my soft heart, and she kind of does sort of a dramatic gesture again. But I'm afraid I've actually come to like you, Sunshine, so...
Oh, damn, I guess I'll have to live with that.
I know, sorry, it's such a burden.
Well, I don't think I'm ever going to use it. But I'll take good care of it.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe you'll find someone else who does need it.
Maybe. We'll just have to wait and see.
As has become the theme. And she grins and says,
Uh-huh.
Also, you know, you can just call me up to talk if you want.
You know what? I may do that from time to time.
She smiles and says, I look forward to it. And she, like, glances at the altar and specifically glances at the candle for Prismatone.
Yeah?
Which, you might note, the flame has not stopped moving.
I'm gonna roll religion for that, because I know what this means. I want to see if Tobias realizes what this might mean. Oh, he knows. He knows Prismaton is watching.
Yeah, he knows that, Prismatone can't be affected by Retrospect's magic, because they are siblings. And she kinda, like, looks at that, and she kinda squints at it and says, well, it's been lovely talking. I should probably get going before my sister decides to yell at me.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Well, I wish you well on your godly life. Then.
Wish me well on my mortal life, too. I split recently. Anyway.
Oh, fun. Well, wishing you good luck on this one, too, then.
And she laughs and says, thank you for the inspiration. I may or may not drop in again in the future to just get a couple more notes, because I have taken on alternate you recently. Oh, good lord. That kid's a wreck. Oh,
God. Well, I'm glad that it's not me. But also, please do take good care of, him, me.
Of course. He's one of
Thank
my
you.
favorites. And she kind of winks and says, Alright, but I really do have to get back to work. It was lovely catching up with you. See you around, Toby.
Yeah, see you later, Rachel.
And she disappears, and time starts moving again.
And then immediately, like, a few seconds pass. And then Tobias is like, shit, dinner!
Oh shit, I left the stove on!
Yeah, even if it wasn't actually on because it was stopped by time. It still needs to get back to that. Oh, Lord. For comedy, suddenly, the oven is on and it's burning.
Suddenly the oven is on fire.
There is a lot of swearing. Don't worry about it.
Also, hey Tobias, you feel like a sudden weight in your pocket.
Oh, cool. Gonna check the pocket.
There is now a handful of butterscotch candies in your pocket.
Oh my god.
And
Well, he's gonna take a little ball and dump them into it for when Tali and Rod come by one day. Maris too, and Vivi, and all the chilled squad.
Kid Squad.
Kid squad.
And I think that's where we zoom out, yeah?
Yep. We've taken the whole hour of the next FPS, and
Oh,
I am
goodness.
I am so sorry. I will also say sorry to Mars.
I am sorry, Marzi and Dew. Oh wait, actually, they don't start for another hour.
Ah, shit! Okay,
think.
thank God.
Hang on. Yeah, they don't. Oh no, they actually are supposed to start right now, so we gotta go.
No,
We gotta go, gotta go.
It's fine. We're good. It's all good. But anyways, it's the end of this FPS!
Thank you everybody for listening. Lewis, thank you so much for indulging me. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for also indulging me in Tobias lore.
Tobias lore!
Yay!
Everybody say goodbye to our listeners. Goodbye, listeners!
Goodbye!